It probably won't surprise you all any to hear that I don't think that's what the evidence is going to show you at all. This is what's going to happen, what you're going to hear. My client, Ms. Quintara, picked up two people outside of Webster Diner and took them to an address on Charles Street. The evidence will show you that both of these people have been drinking, although at the time Ms. Quintara didn't know that. In fact, the man of the couple had had 8 beers and a coffee, this 37-year-old man, before getting in the car. The woman also had been drinking. Ms. Quintara went to the address where she was told to go, 65 Charles. It's down the hill from the intersection. And she stopped there to let them out. That part of the evidence really isn't in dispute. Now, at this point, there is a dispute. You're going to hear evidence saying that the car was like this, and the cab was. You're also going to hear evidence saying it was like this. In 6 days, when we talk again, I'll tell you why it doesn't really matter. But right now, you should know that there's going to be conflicting evidence on that point. The parties got out of the cab. The evidence is going to show you that the man urged the woman to get out of the cab on the left side, for whatever reason. And for whatever reason, she did. It's exactly what she did. And then, after she was out of the cab, she wandered up the hill. This is 65 feet down the hill where the address was, where the cab stopped. She wandered up the hill. We don't know how far she wandered. There will be no evidence to tell you that. But the evidence is going to show you that when she was ultimately struck, she was pitched from wherever she was 40 feet by the hit-and-run vehicle that struck her. So at the time of the impact, she was 40 feet up the hill from the cab. She was pitched down the hill into the cab, which she struck, and then fell to the ground. Now, it's been previously pointed out that there was a light at this intersection. It was neglected to mention that this is a street light. It is not a traffic light. In fact, this intersection has no traffic control devices at all. No traffic light, traffic stop sign, yield sign, there's nothing there. The evidence is going to show you. The hit-and-run driver came over this hill, through this intersection. We don't know how fast he was going when he was doing this, but we do know that he put on his brakes before impacting Ms. Kearney. He put on his brakes before impacting Ms. Kearney, and he still was going fast enough when he did it to pitch her 40 feet down the hill through an intersection with no traffic control devices. The evidence is not going to show you is that Ms. Quintara or the company that owned the cab she was driving had any control over this intersection. The evidence is not going to show you that Ms. Quintara or the cab company had any control over the hit-and-run driver. Nor, indeed, is it going to show you that Ms. Quintara had any control over the address where Mr. Fulton told her to stop. You'll hear no evidence on any of that point. The evidence is going to show you nothing more with regard to this accident than I have just told you. Now, there are some other issues with regard to how the accident occurred. The evidence is going to show you that Ms. Quintara had her dome light on. Her cab was clearly visible. That she had her front lights on. No one really knows whether her rear lights were on. No one can testify to that. However, there's going to be no evidence saying there was anything wrong with her rear lights. The cab was visible on the street. The hit-and-run driver came over the hill and pitched Ms. Kearney into the cab, but the hit-and-run driver did not hit the cab. In other words, the hit-and-run driver, although going too fast, was in the lane he was supposed to be in. And he hit Ms. Kearney 40 feet up the hill. That's what the evidence will show you. From that evidence, you will be asked to draw inferences. But right now, all we're talking about is the evidence, and that's what the evidence is going to show you. Thank you very much.
Very good job. Now, that was an opening statement that would not get objected to, all right, because he wove the facts and the evidence and the way he did it, and he re-emphasized the points that he wanted to make. That was the whole presentation was very, very, very professional. You know, as far as how to do it, that's fine. You come on strong at the beginning. I mean, you are a strong personality, and you certainly reinforce that when you say, I don't think that's what the evidence is going to show at all. And I think that's very good to establish your own persona immediately with the jury, especially on the defense side. And the way you showed the evidence on the control issues, and the fact that you identified the conflicts in the evidence. That's a good point. You see, he said there's going to be a conflicting evidence on the issue of whether the car was parked this way or that way. That's a good thing to point out to a jury in opening statements as far as where is the red light, green light? Where are the issues that you're going to have to decide? And then he says, and this is what the testimony is going to be on those issues. This is what the evidence is. So very good job. It's just, you got all the basics down. It's going to just be a refinement of technique. Good job.
Yeah, I really liked it, Mr. Sherrod. What I like particularly is you got up there and you jumped on it right now. There are too many lawyers who get up second and they start ambling